my mic in here. Welcome everybody to another morning podcast. Oh, our name. Skipping through, trying to decide on what our podcast name is. And I'm Lisa from For Women by Women Crypto. That is website again. WomenOnlyCrypto.com. Yeah. So, hopefully.
I am Lisa. I go by Lisa from the block and or Lily at times, and sometimes my fractal mind. So that's a lot of people. I'm not different people. I'm just one person. So just kidding. No, but I'm Lisa. I go by Lisa from the block, and yeah. So that's a little bit about me.
Fantastic. I managed to update our background by the consent today.
Sweet. I like that.
Oh well. One of those mornings. But last time the green screen filter was showing part of the green, like it's doing with my right now, being registered as green, and my hat was being registered as kind of greenish, so it was like kind of purplish because the background. It was fun. So, what is our first segment here? Our first thing we're going to talk about today with our intros. Phrase that I came those. Um, let's go over to Space Super Bowl ad. We've been talking about this podcast.
Yeah, we did cover it.
It keeps getting more interesting, and I love that. And whoever is at Coinbase making these decisions, have these conversations, really killing it on the ad game. So great job there. Very consistent of who really created Coinbase Super Bowl ads. Armstrong was Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Twitter, was called out on. Sorry, CEO of Coinbase called out on Twitter, and they go back and forth about talking about who actually kind of spawned this idea, and sounds like he eventually kind of said, yeah, there was a agency they worked with back in, it looks like 8/18. So what is that? August of 2018. When they actually had an agency come in and talk to them and present some of that idea. I don't know how they got there, but he kind of backpedals a little bit, saying, although we didn't work with traditional ad agencies, I'd be remiss not to mention the creative firm we worked with. Typical stuff coming from CEOs about.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So did they work with them or did they not?
I know, right? That's the question here. I'll say.
Or did what? Yeah, I don't want to speculate because I could speculate something crazy on that.
Right? I thought that.
But I'm not going to do that.
No, that's what we're here to do. We're here to speculate and just kind of chat about, that whole.
I mean, so a lot of companies these days are actually utilizing the the request for quote process, right, to solicit free work, and then they'll go take that idea and run with it and say that they're not going to utilize that company throughout the process of creating it,
Okay.
is that they take it internal and then they just create it. I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but it's I feel like people I feel like they're doing this also like with high value hires, not them, but just in general. Like you see it, so like solicitation of free work.
Yes. I what you.
bring me your ideas, and then I'll figure out if I like it. It's
Coming more.
it's yeah, it's there are so many ways that they could just like I'm not saying that that's what they're doing, but it's when that's what I immediately thought when you first described it. That's why I was like, wait, what? You're saying that they said the idea, but then you didn't work with them, and then it's like, did you work with them?
And so I know a bunch of people in, of course, are working crypto companies. Yeah, it's because practice gal that I'm referring to did an interview with, I don't remember what the name of the company was, but so they brought her in for a significant interview, and then asked her to do big section of writing and um, trying to show her work and what she's capable of doing. And it was like 8 hours worth of
Yep,
producing really
yep,
good technical writing, and she just was like, gonna
yep,
pay me for this? Okay, cool. And yeah, that's
yep.
just
I've done it.
horrifying
I
fact.
did it recently, and that's why I kind of like I was in I've been in some form of tech for 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and at the level that I'm at in some of these roles, they require that you, if you get once you get to a certain point, that you usually have to create a presentation. Now they'll tell you up front that you'll have to do something. However, like, are you just never going to do that because that's what these companies are demanding, right? So do you just choose not to be part of the system? So what I did was I actually created a recommendations document like they wanted me to, right? And the way that they made it seem up until that point was like that I was like the one, that's the way that I'm not saying I was going to get it, but that's the way they made it appear. So I have this presentation, and it's about a 2-hour presentation, and I had to give the presentation to them. I had to create the entire presentation and get the data for the presentation because it was a tech presentation. And you wonder how many of those ideas they ran away with after my 2-hour presentation. Because there's no way that what I did wasn't usable. Maybe I just wasn't the perfect person, but they could use all of the ideas that I had. But maybe they were looking for somebody that had more marketing background or just something like that. But you'll see that in a lot of these higher roles. But yeah, there was just I actually was just reading the document a little bit further, and it notes that he said that they felt like they were part of the family. Uh, Isn't it a little early with Coinbase to be starting making these like, mistakes? Yeah, you're right. Par for the course. Uh-oh. Sorry, go ahead. Exchange. Yeah, that was gonna say the self-sovereign wallet is I mean, they knew they had to get into that too. But yeah, they're levels ahead of others and they're running and they know that. They know they're trying to yeah, they're running and gunning and they know that. And
Oh,
I
bombs.
will say that I know exactly what's happening over there. Like their teams are doing great jobs at like marketing and that, but I would say there's some other teams in that place are just drowning in that one. Just drowning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were like, wait, hold on, I didn't expect all this work because that's what happens usually. And then companies prior to this, what we would do is the company actually months beforehand sets up contingency plans for every single one of the organizations within the business.
Mm-hmm.
What should you expect? So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think that I think they did a great job overall. Obviously, when you're winning like that, that's, I know everybody wants to follow that, but
Yeah. Um, and that's definitely what they're trying to just um speaking of trying to do too many things, I keep muting and muting my mic and forgetting to unmute it, and I'm just gonna leave it on, and we can deal with the consequences during firming and whatever.
oh, okay, that's fine.
No, I was hearing from gotta quit the stuff and typing and squirming, and I'm just trying to keep the audio clean, and not a big deal. Let's move on to the next story that we're kind of talking about here. Is Coinbase adding wallet and support to. So, any of you Ledger users out there, I know we all, have our tribe of what we like to use. Our Ledger, our other one, Trezor. People
Yeah,
like to
they're
use.
so close to each other. Reser, Trezor, yeah.
I know, right?
And there's another one called Save People or something. I'll look it up.
Or Stephanie always talks about one super complicated. I don't. It seems like just too many things.
Yeah, we that's a whole episode in of itself, because then you get to like, there is hot storage in cold wallets. And then, but there's a portion that's actually cooled, and it
Hmm.
just get we can talk about
I mean,
that.
right? And we could go into the Coinbase Vault, I think is what they were calling it, where they implemented this thing. It forces you to have to wait like a time period to get your crypto unlocked from the vault, just so that you have that buffer window. I don't know. It wasn't a whole lot of time. I think it was all voluntary there as a more secure situation. Let's kind of read up on this article a little bit. Um, Quote here saying we want to empower everyone to use apps and access requires building easiest to use and most accessible self custody wallet in today's release solves the ability to use. I see the author or the speaker is saying today's release solves. That's just from the text here. The ability to use hardware wallet for enhanced security. Got my own ledger here somewhere, and I honestly that may be the point where I start using it more often, is having it work with my Coinbase, but stuff that I do all day so
Mhm.
rapid fire. I don't really have time to be pulling hardware wallet and tapping in my 8-digit key code into the device and plugging it in and this and that and the other thing. I've got a separate phone that I use for some of that stuff. I've got
Yeah.
God knows how many software wallets. Like, I mean, what do you as far as wallet
I
wise?
see it as like the ultimate place to store things, like
Yes.
my seed phrases. Because I'm like you. I when I buy stuff, I think I'm going to use it, and then I never do. Okay.
Yeah.
And I find myself not using it because I just get so used to doing what I'm doing. So like, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't want to like plug it in all the time. Um, Plus, I think that there's, for me, a risk in even having something loose like that around. So even if somebody, like, even if there's even if it's passcode locked, I'll freaking lose it. I mean, come on, let's be honest, I'm gonna lose this
I
thing.
mean, as
Like,
long as you got your seed
it's gonna
for
be
the
gone.
device, you
So
can rebuild your wallet. So I mean,
the way that I have it right now, I'm comfortable with, and I
yeah.
feel secure with, and I
Mhm.
know that it feels secure. And I know that at this stage, at least, it is separated to the point where nobody could hurt me and take so much of what I've got that it would ever disturb my income, right?
Mhm. And that's kind of the key here.
I
I mean,
separate them. Like, you're like, I have software wallets like you.
yeah.
I separate my software wallet. So like, depending on the level of exposure that I want that wallet to have is depending how much money I put in it. A lot of times I will only fund a wallet when I actually want to make a transaction.
Oh yeah.
And then from there, then when my crypto is um is hanging out in those places, obviously, then I have to make sure that it's on me to keep the seed phrase secure. So I think that's how I think about it. And I know there's more steps to it, but like, to me, I'm probably I need to do the least. Let's just be honest.
Right. Well, and I
I'm
mean,
a human that
as long
doesn't
as you
like to
got
do
your
all
seed
that
phrase,
stuff.
don't go around
Yeah.
clicking on random
Right.
projects. That
That too. Yes.
always make sure to do your
Making very
research on
good
the NFT projects.
decisions. Yeah, like I'll give you an example. Like today, even I have been part of this. It's called Gambling Apes, and
Okay.
I've been part of this NFT since like I think September of last year,
Yeah.
sometime maybe earlier. I could figure out when I bought it when by going to NFT, but so they actually created a casino first, a web casino,
Okay.
and then are creating casinos in the metaverse, two casinos in the metaverse. They've already created the single web casino,
Yep.
yeah, only, and I have to go log into that to see my earnings from the
Okay.
perpetual income that I will get from holding the NFT,
Yeah.
right? So even with that, like I'm going into their Discord and still very concerned about what the link is. So that once I know I have the right link, then I save that puppy into a really safe place because yeah, it's so easy to click on something accidentally um, that looks so real
Yeah.
that yeah, I'm totally with you.
Okay, well, and that's a solid strategy, right? Um, having your own list of safe links, places that can go, which is the correct place. You're not going to end up having random, almost correct web address backlist.
Exactly.
That deep fake website of Bored Apes, you know, and it's just spelled slightly different. Watch
Yep.
out for keylogging. Always watch out for.
Yep. Because I'm in Discord and I don't have the function turned off, so basically anybody can DM me, and I've thought about turning it off, but I also am very curious as to who pays for DMs and what DMs I get
Paying
from
for
the
DM.
D from oh yeah.
Go
Oh,
on.
what? There's a whole underbelly of
So
paying for DMs.
so I was under the understanding that if you have the DM setting in a server turned on, you don't have to like it's not something that or you can DM any server.
Oh, no, 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 I'm sorry about that. It's like, yeah, you use that setting, but there are people that, like, get bots to message users,
Yeah, then that makes
and
sense.
they sell the bot usage, right? They're like, "Hey, we'll get your message sent out to these amount of validated users, uh, and you'll get a DM." You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
so that they'll do, like, a guarantee rate on what it is that they're selling to them and how many messages they think they'll get. So like
yeah.
there's a whole underbelly in Discord. I leave it on because I'm very curious as to which because I'm with about eight, probably like eight different servers. And I'm
Mhm.
very curious which server of any of these is, giving away their list. It's just
Yeah.
selling their list or I don't know.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that totally makes sense. I get a lot of people being like, "Hey, sorry to bother you, but you hear about my NFT project?" I'm like, "No, I don't. Have a nice day." I normally just close the DMs. I don't even block them or there's so many coming through. I turn off my DMs for any of those kind of servers. If it's one of my private servers or something like that, whatever. Those people,
Yeah.
of course, are my friends and domestic. I don't want that most.
Oh,
So
I was actually going to check up on because there was a phishing attempt that happened 2 days ago on Sunday
okay,
with OpenSea, some OpenSea users, and I haven't actually gone to look up to see how it happened,
okay,
but it did happen, and they updated their news yesterday stating that it wasn't a hack to their systems. That they found out that I don't know, maybe some odd amount of people, 30 or 40 people,
yeah.
fell for a link scam, a deep
Oh
link
no.
scam. Yeah, and it was like it took like $1.6 million and worth of NFTs or whatever.
Well, I
So
saw
yeah,
something as well on Loopy Loopy Donuts if you're familiar, and they were saying that so they if you're familiar with that whole Loopy Donuts story, the three of the core founders out of 4. So the artist ended up staying, but these other 3 dudes left, and they took most of the ETH that the project had earned. And
Yep.
is what it is. They made that money, and they did leave us with a fair amount as a community, and were nice enough, I guess, to give us back the contract website. The artist is working with us directly. She's a fantastic artist. That's why I got in the project.
But
And
I think we have to consider the damage does regardless, because the asset's value,
mhm.
will drop. And
Yeah. But
so,
so what ended up happening here in the last week or so is I saw a post from them saying that the new contract. So they were making it so you could migrate your asset to the new contract, and they said don't use the new contract. There's an exploit, and it isn't safe via OpenSea. Um, which seems to happen a lot if you ever use OpenSea. It is not a safe place. So
mhm,
yeah, that's just something to watch out for. Definitely take some time to research these contracts.
mhm.
And that kind of brings me onto our next story real quick. So this one just kind of was at the top of the page on Cointelegraph today, and it's Solana-based play to earn metaverse challenges the market with battle-based gameplay and wizard NFTs. I haven't looked into this. We aren't, any kind of supporting this project or shilling it. It just was going to be something interesting to talk about, and that's kind of where we just were talking, is going through and making sure that you do spend the time to vet these projects, and making sure that it is something that is going to provide you value and is going to be safe.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so, looks like they're just kind of getting in the trend. They're growing their community. I really haven't read this whole story a lot. Um, so let's have a read real quick. Reported 2,000 Arena Genesis NFTs being sold. More than 60 KOLs. What's a KOL? Do you know? Um,
Okay.
Let's see if it tells us what that is earlier in the story. Um, KOL. Oh, it's only in that one spot. So I'm not sure what KOLs are. That's something new to me.
Key opinion leader, an influencer.
Oh, there you go. That very well could be. Since there's 60, that's a pretty reasonably high number. If you've got decent people in on the project, 60 would be a good number. Um,
60 KOL. Well,
I
this
mean,
isn't.
you gonna Google it so I don't have to. Apparently, my keyboard's too loud. Um, did I send you
Yeah.
the story?
What is the KOL fan economy?
I don't know. Um,
Yeah, it's not immediately findable, so we can move forward if you wanted to.
yeah, no worries. So that was just something to talk about there. We already talked about Coinbase. Let's talk a little bit about price action and what's going on there. Markets, stock, crypto. Let's go to crypto markets.
Yeah, it is
Um,
supposedly. Sorry, I
Go
didn't
ahead.
mean to interrupt
No,
you,
no.
but according to this, reading this document and very lengthy, yes, it is. They're talking about them influencers cashing out and
Mm-hmm.
what they should do to when they cash out. So,
Oh, I
yeah.
gotcha. Okay, cool.
However, I would love to see if there isn't already. I would love to see a website that like outs influencers that rug pull.
Oh yeah. I mean that might be a
I
whole
mean, there's been
idea on its
boxers
own.
and singers and
Mm-hmm.
actresses, and I'm just
You know,
like, if you don't know what you're getting into, and if you don't know if the people that you're working with you trust, then why should we trust them?
oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just
Like,
because they're famous, why does that mean that they're somebody you should trust? I mean, I wouldn't go out and buy
a lot of
Melania
people
Trump's
do that though. I
NFTs.
mean, the NFT landscape is extremely hype based. I mean,
Yeah,
because let's be honest, some of these things don't have any value other than perceived value, other than the value that I feel like it has.
yeah.
So when you have things that have perceived value, you have these uh, marketing schemes that come along with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Um, What was I gonna go on about? A little bit of price action. I guess we could talk about that for a moment. You know what? And let's go over some stuff. We're just gonna go to CoinGecko, and I'm gonna switch over to a bit of a more screen focused page here. Boop. Put me back in the corner there. So market cap today is at 1.78 trillion. Down a little bit from our resting 2 trillion, which kind of sucks, but whatever. Bitcoin's resting at 37.8, Ethereum's at 26. Some other top coins that are up right now. XRP, the number 6 spot at 70 cents.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really surprising, honestly. Cardano is still a number 7
See
at
how much I
88
bought
cents.
that.
And Solana is holding tough at 85.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
We should call out like one thing on our watch list. Not why, don't say why, just one thing on our watch list. Like or maybe you say why, but like do you have a watch list that you like psychotically like add things to? Because XRP is in my watch list.
You know what?
And I believe I bought it. I just
Yeah.
have to go in my other wallet and look.
If you can, like when you
Forget
see
about stuff
my
like that.
live screen, on the right side on my trading view is said list. It's very extensive. It actually does contain several stonks. I mean, I've got Square, Twitter, SPX.
All right. So what on your list? I guess you can't really look at it that quickly. What on your list is up because most things are down, and I will go first. It is Ampleforth Governance.
Okay. AMP.
And then
or
Dash.
Ample. What's the
it's
ticker?
Fourth.
Fourth.
It's Fourth.
Fourth. Yeah. That's
and
right.
then Dash. Okay. Those are both up.
So Fourth. Let's pull that up real quick. That's stock, Binance, crypto, UST. Good. Let's pull that one in. And then what was the other one?
Dash. DASH.
Okay, DoorDash. Let's just switch this to crypto only. I know.
DoorDash, you better stay out of NFTs. DoorDash is like, oh, got your NFT. Somebody's gonna drive it to your house.
Right. We'll just switch this over real quick. Dash, Tether, KuCoin, Kraken, Binance. Let's use Binance. It seems to be one of the bigger ones, even though they do have scam wicks fairly often. So Fourth, let's go over to the actual chart. Have a quick gander. Just a quick gander.
Little gander at it.
Looking at the daily chart, and of course I've got all of my indicators. Well, when did I? Oh, never mind. Huh. It pulled up one of my other charts right away instead of the fourth chart. I've never looked at the fourth chart. So we only have so much data to work with here. Back to May.
Yes, some of these are going to be newer.
Yeah, and that's generally what I look for is newer coins. On the daily
I try to look on the horizon because I want to know what tech is on the horizon too.
Absolutely.
You can see where the whole industry is going to move if you kind of know what tech is on the horizon as well. I think you do too. You keep a good job of like seeing the utility, the emerging like technical aspects of this and how that could expand upon already existing business models and all that. So
yeah. So what I'm seeing from Fourth is looks like it had a big jump this morning. So what was that? That was from 560. The top of the wick is all the way up at 884. So that's a pretty big jump. Nice 52%. If you were leverage trading that would have been, depending on your leverage, anywhere from 50 or 100% to, oh God, what's 20 times 53? Sounding like 900% or something like that. Anyway, fantastic jump there.
Even though it's small, I mean, you get a couple of tokens that are going to make waves, or you feel are going to make waves.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so let's look over at Dash here. Dash has been kind of on a downtrend like anything else. It does look like it's got some promise here, at least on the 4-hour chart. And it had a little uptick this morning. So that's good to see. I can't tell you if we're at a bottom here without doing more significant TA, but it does look rather promising. What I keep an eye on, one of the biggest things that I'm excited about right now, I don't know if it's up. Let me see, SCRT.
So just to give you some background of what we're talking about. So Ampleforth states that it That's a protocol that translates price volatility into supply volatility.
Okay.
That's the number of tokens per wallet increases automatically. So it's a governance token.
Sure.
Just to kind of give you an idea of
Okay.
what
Okay.
Ampleforth is before I moved on.
And then what is Dash? You want to give us a quick lowdown about that and scoot a
Let me
little to
pull
your
it up.
left?
Sometimes I do stuff and then I'm like, what is this? What's this?
What even is this?
Was this a nice surprise of myself? Dash coin. Buy, sell, and store Bitcoin.
There we go. Dash number 95 on CoinGecko. Dash.org.
It's a DAO. It's a DAO.
Okay. So Dash is going to be
They
the
have master nodes on Bitcoin master nodes.
okay. So governance on the miners themselves.
It seems like it. Yep.
Okay.
I
That's
would be
super interesting.
interested. Why would I have added that? Now I want to go look at more.
We can
Who
pop
is
on
this other
over.
person adding this stuff? They're smarter than me.
Yep. Let's see. Dash, your money your way. Ready to start making everyday purchase of digital cash. Dash Direct makes it fast and easy with savings every time you spend. Interesting. Okay.
I think there was sometimes the reason that I put them here is because I hear news about a relationship. Like they either gained a relationship recently with a company
Mm-hmm.
or that type of stuff.
So it's looking a bit more like um, a bridge between traditional finance and crypto, which is nice. We need those kind of services. I don't know a whole lot about it, so I will take a look into that later.
Oh, it says it offers private and instant transactions.
Okay.
So I'm curious how they do that.
There is
It's a whole nother day, but yeah.
right.
Oh,
Anyway,
I'm sure that they would roll it up into their wallet or whatever, anonymous
right.
wallet, but still.
So head down here.
Instant? Hmm.
Instant. One
By
of
the
the
way, the
ones.
site, yeah, not even a legitimate thing in the world. You can't instantly move data from one place to another. That's not even.
Yeah, it's fast enough that we don't notice it, and that's close enough. Um, so moving on to my two coins here. Right now, I'm actually very excited about Secret Network and the Shade Protocol. So
Yeah.
Secret Network is building out this whole series of dApps, and they just released their airdrop for the Shade token. The Shade token is going to be the governance token for their ecosystem. SCRT Secret token is the one that I've been buying and following. It's not even up right now. And that's pretty consistent with an airdrop. Anytime there's a big airdrop for something, especially when you've got the core token of an ecosystem, it may dump specifically because of the airdrops. So it is down 2% right now over the last 24 hours, and that makes sense. I mean, I've been trying to get a
When you're in
transaction
it, it's
through.
hard to see. But if you go look at the Gartner's hype cycle, I can tell you right now, it follows a lot of coins that come out.
Yeah. Um, I do expect to
which
see a
which
lot more
says
though.
that it will go up and then it'll go down, then you'll have a secondary hit of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm saying all of
absolutely.
them follow that, but if you look, most of them do.
Yeah. Well, and we are just after
But
a
when you're in the
full moon
middle of it,
cycle.
it's hard to see.
Um,
It's hard to see that.
it is. It is. So that's something I'm excited about. If you were staking Cosmos, Luna, or Secret tokens, you are eligible for that airdrop. So don't miss out on getting your free money. I mean, definitely don't miss that. I'm not trying to
So,
fully shill, but yeah.
I'm ooh,
Ooh,
airdrops.
airdrops.
I would have to airdrop it into a wallet that I would trust. Not
Well, and that's kind of one of the
nothing.
cool things that they're doing too. They
But
are
like that, I have to sign up with the wallet that I created. Like I can't put it in another wallet. So like
no,
if
no, no.
I
You
okay, go
can.
ahead. Oh,
So in this case, you actually absolutely can. So because it is a cross-chain airdrop, it's going across several different chains, and that is kind of the whole idea between Secret is privacy and maintaining, your ability to do as you wish. You are capable of showing your wallet, so they do offer the ability to give you a viewing key that you can provide to anyone, IRS if they need to view your assets for whatever reason. But
mhm.
when you go through, you create basically a permission slip. I don't remember what the technical term they called it was, but you put in the address you want your drop to go to, and it's going to be a
Mm,
secret network address. And so if you create another secret address, you can have your airdrop go to there. You just create
right.
your permission,
Which
you
is what I would
sign it
want to
with your
do.
original wallet, and then it sends it to the third wallet, which I think
That's
is
better.
great. I love it. These
Yeah,
guys are
that's
really
much
killing it.
better. I
Um,
mean, there are still some ones that are out there. Like which one? There's one of them that, gosh, I'm gonna have to go back, but
right.
goes to back till June, and everybody's like, "Go get your airdrop. If you had OpenSea, go get your airdrop." And I'm thinking,
Ooh,
no.
you talking about
What was
oh,
it called?
what is that guy's name?
I was like, these people are out here giving up their OpenSea wallets for like $15, and then they were paying more for gas just to get the airdrop.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm
Um,
saying? Like they were
Richard
paying
Hart. Do you
more.
know who Richard Hart is?
There's
Okay,
so many Richards and so
that's
many
okay. That's
Hearts.
okay. He's pretty big in the crypto scene. Let's switch over. Richard Hart, crypto. So
Do, do, do,
um,
do, 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 do.
Hex. So Richard Hart is basically creating another chain called Hex, and its entire job is to recreate everything that's on the Ethereum network as a
Mhm.
more functional network. Um, I cannot say that I
Oh my
really
freaking
agree
god!
with this whole project. I'm just saying what
Like
he's doing.
everybody says that though. Everybody's
Oh
like,
God,
but I've got the best blockchain. I
I
mean,
know.
I know this is going to be the fight of the blockchains until somebody like
And
fights it out, and somebody could come in and strong arm people around. But still, like, I'm just, I guess you get sick of hearing the same shit. Like, what is makes you different? Like,
right,
you
and you
know,
know what? If you've ever heard him talk, he will go in depth about what makes him different, and his chain's so good. And you know what? I can't say if the chain is great. I can't say if it's bad. I can't even say if Richard himself is good or bad or anything
you
like
have to
that. But
show your own stuff. I mean,
yeah,
you
yeah,
kind
you
of
do.
have to like pump it, or
But
else who else is going to believe in it?
yeah, well, and
If
what
you don't,
bothers me is just listening to him talk in general. He makes
is
me
it the
feel dirty.
technicality of it?
No, no, no. He just makes me feel dirty. Um, and it's just the way he speaks and the way he goes about things. And every now and then he'll be on somebody else's show and he'll behave himself, and he'll be a reasonable person. I really appreciate hearing him talk on those days. But like when he gets going, man, I just you know he's really drinking his own Kool-Aid. It's so much, and it is just so hard to listen to him.
Yeah.
It's like listening to a politician talk in circles, and when somebody asks him a question, the circle just loops back around to itself as if it
Yep.
never experienced the road bump, or
Anything
the
other than
yeah. It just I cannot. I don't like to talk bad about anybody, but he makes me feel dirty.
But yeah,
um,
well, and that's your perspective, and you can have that perspective,
absolutely.
especially if that's the way you feel when you hear it. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's not even
you
that
know,
what he's saying is wrong, or like that I disagree with the actual words coming out of his mouth. I could agree with him wholeheartedly and still feel gross about listening to him talk.
why? Well, now I don't know why.
Oh man, you just go find something where he's talking about Hex, and you'll get it. I
Okay.
promise you will get it. Let's move on real quick to another one of my little, I guess, what are we calling these shills projects we're really excited about, things we're happy about. We have something that is up today. What is up today? Solana's just ticking up a little bit, little 3%. Man, I've been holding vet since the dawn of my crypto career, and it's done some things, and it's just not doing very well right now. Um, I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
there's no sense in selling it though, unless you're trying to like short sell it,
Yeah, I
unless
know,
you're trying to
right?
wash it.
No. What I actually am kind of excited about, especially with the price dip, and a lot of people get all sad about price dips, but ADA Cardano continues to just follow its trading channel. And I mean, if you check my live screen right now, and I'll switch that back over, um, ADA is in this beautiful trading channel. So if you are trading ADA right now, and you've been following this trading channel, you're killing it. Like it's been bouncing off perfectly, and that's something I love to see. But you know, they just the new stuff that's coming out, the CNFTs, the Sunday swap, the actual having yield on their DeFi farms is definitely something I'm excited about, and I haven't really dug into it a whole lot, but I would like to, and so that's something I always am happy to see, especially go down because it just means I can buy more. rebuild my stacks that I kind of messed up back in March. So that's that. Let's go back to chatting a little more. What is the last thing on our list today? It is 11:43. We've kind of gone over some shills already, some news stories, some price action. I don't know what's a basic concept of crypto that you really would like to, you know, give some wisdom on here.
Storage,
Storage. Yep.
NFT storage.
Okay. Go on.
Um, we're in a world where I think if we want adoption to succeed, we really need to make sure that things where easy, where can be made easy right now should be.
Okay.
And with the prominence of like IPFS, um,
You want to
it
explain
becomes
IPFS to those that don't know, because that is what we're trying to do here is explain to people who don't know.
yes. So in essence, it is as close to decentralized storage for an asset. So like a song, a video, an image. It's as close to decentralized assets as we can get. Essentially, your image, your song, it gets hashed,
Mm-hmm.
part of it. So part of these nodes gets each part of your thing, right?
Sure.
And so the file is split up, and then the hash is split up. And then when you go to retrieve it, you actually have to go to retrieve your image doc, whatever, from IPFS.
Okay.
And the link will look like IPFS, like you'll in your address browser, right?
Mm-hmm.
The actual link will be an IPFS link, not an HTML link like you're used to. It's
Sure.
IPFS. So you have to actually go access your asset, download your asset, and make sure that when you buy a digital asset that you go take possession of it, right?
Okay.
Because the asset's not in your it's not going to be in your wallet, not going to be on the blockchain.
Okay.
It's too expensive.
Yep.
So our NFTs are essentially put in a as close to decentralized. I'm not going to call it. I'm sorry, I'm not going to call it decentralized storage. But people are going to get mad at me. I'm not calling IPFS decentralized, but it's not, and it's not because there are people in the on those nodes that could make decisions that could disrupt things,
Okay.
and so that's what happens when you get a lot of people participating. But
Mm-hmm.
so long as they keep it correct, then they're.
Right.
Are you familiar with tagging? So you have to tag an NFT.
No. Wow. My NFT knowledge is not that deep.
So with IPFS, even though you're decentralizing the storage of your asset, it's still tagged. So the asset actually has a tag back to the original asset,
Mm-hmm.
and it is possible for that to become detagged,
Okay.
and for you to have an empty asset.
Hmm.
Essentially, you don't have your asset anymore.
Okay.
So what I love to tell people if that are buying NFTs is think of it as an asset. If you go to a art gallery, you
Okay.
will leave there with your photo.
Yep.
You should always think about that's the same thing you should do in the digital world. You should not like you don't leave you don't leave it and say, hey, can you hold on to it in your server for a really long time? Like that's not how you know what I mean? Like so you want to take possession of that thing that you bought like right away.
Okay.
And so what I do is I always download it from the original source,
Okay.
because if you sometimes you can't even download it from OpenSea, but even then it's not going to be the original. So if you have a higher quality one, you're going to get a compressed version of that,
Yeah.
whatever is in OpenSea.
Okay.
But so you want to go get the original version from the IPFS link. Um, the reason I'm saying all this is because it can be very confusing to intelligent people. So if we want people to adopt into the space, we need to make it easier for them to find their asset.
Mm-hmm.
In no other space would you be like, hey, I'm going to sell you this thing, and then you like made people go around a corner and behind a thing to like find it themselves.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're doing here.
Okay.
And I don't think enough artists understand that they need to tell their buyers that this is an asset and they need to go get their asset,
Yeah.
right? Like so there's a huge world of discussion that I could have there, and
Mm-hmm. And so,
securing
what
securing your asset.
what exactly is your storage method that you would prefer here, and how do you go about it? So you're gonna go and you're gonna get that digital
I mean,
asset, and
yeah.
Does that necessarily? So you're gonna be
Could
downloading
store it
the.
on a hard drive and then put that hard drive into a safe.
Okay.
Um, I mean, depending on how if I'm going to use it, I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
I'll download it and save an original copy somewhere,
Sure.
right? Like you would a master of a CD, or
Mm-hmm.
so you have like the original disc, and then you make copies of that original. Well, then I would put that original into the safe and then make
Okay.
cop. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it depends on what it is, but these are digital assets for the most part.
Yep.
So they're going to be images. Things are already copyable. Images, videos, right? They're already copyable. I could
Sure.
go down and like get the best video on OpenSea right this second if I felt like it.
Yep.
But you again, I can't sell it, right? So that's
Okay.
so when it becomes an asset, you have to treat it like an asset.
Yeah. And so what about storing the NFT
Metadata.
itself, not just the asset? So
Yeah,
the
right.
actual
So the metadata
transaction.
needs to be stored alongside with the asset. So what
Okay.
I would do is I would store the metadata, the IPFS link. I would store all of that next in a text file next to the asset itself, maybe in its own little folder.
Okay.
Put that on a
Interesting.
hardware wallet. Put that in a yeah. So yeah, I just kind of hope that we could make this process easier for people,
Right.
because it would just seem very weird if we did anything that we're doing right now in the NFT space in real life. It
Yeah.
wouldn't make any sense,
Yeah.
and you would wonder why we were doing it.
I mean,
So
same
yeah,
way it wouldn't make sense to, like you say, go into the art gallery and you buy a piece that is on the wall right there. That
and
is
then you
that
just
is the
walk
thing you
away.
bought. Yeah, you take a picture of it and you walk away and you leave it in the art gallery.
Exactly.
Like, no, wrap
No,
that sucker
that's
up. I want to
yours.
take it home. Let's go. Chop
Exactly. So
chop.
it doesn't matter if you sell and resell an NFT. At some point, you have ownership of it. Like it's so. I don't know. I mean, why not? I mean, why not get an original version of each of the NFTs that you bought?
Yep.
And so I did a
Especially if
little
it's
video on my
music.
TikTok today about how to access. You have to actually go into the contract itself.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, OpenSea is kind of like in the details section under all of their NFTs. They actually soon doing this thing where if it doesn't say that it's frozen and it doesn't say that it's centralized, that means that it's IPFS by default. And they don't say that anywhere in their documentation.
Yeah. You want to explain what Frozen is to somebody else?
I would love to, but I've learned some crazy stuff over the past couple of days. So
Oh.
freezing, yeah, freezing the metadata means that the metadata could never be changed.
Okay.
So right now there is trust that a lot of people are having that I'm not going to go change the characteristics of that character that I bought, right? I could go change it, like because it's metadata, right? In the contract, you can actually write to where that metadata is changeable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're going to see this also as like permanent URI. I believe that's how OpenSea describes it as permanent URI. You would see that written into the contract.
Yeah.
And what it does is it freezes the metadata, so nobody can change it. That
Okay.
means that that it creates scarcity with the asset.
Yep.
So I would there would be not another one like that, right? Like, and I can't go and change it.
Yeah.
Like that's like that type of thing.
Yeah. Uh,
Which people can go and change it, like if they have it in a centralized server.
right.
Um, so locking the metadata will give me as a buyer, it will give me confidence that my asset will not be changed and that
Mm-hmm.
what I'm buying right now will always be what I have.
Yeah. So
And that's I think is really important.
quick explanation of when that may happen as part of a plan. So if you purchase an NFT as a immediate mint, you go to a website and you mint your NFT rather than buying it secondhand on OpenSea. It may show up in your wallet with not the original image. This is going to be in the instance of RNG or AI generated asset, images. So
Hmm.
what will end up happening is that you will get a placeholder in a lot of these cases, for the first day or two.
Right. That's
And so
correct.
it'll show, maybe a little box that is representing that project. Maybe it's even a very similar piece of art, but everyone is getting that same little box image until they say, cool, we've released everyone's, asset from being the box to being the actual image that you get. It shows your scarcity, your traits. It shows the actual image of what you got. And to get that, if you're not familiar, you can go onto
Right.
OpenSea and you can click the refresh metadata. And so it will actually refresh from that box image to maybe your little monkey or your dolphin or penguin or whatever the hell you
You can
bought.
change, yeah, you
Yeah.
can change the digital concept of that art
It
at its core
yeah, it literally
if
changes
you
the whole
wanted to.
picture,
Exactly. Yeah.
and so that's something to keep an eye on. And if you're just, you weren't aware of that, it does happen on its own. Like it will refresh on its own sometimes. But if you are sitting on an asset and you're like, why hasn't my monkey popped out of its box yet? Uh, Click that refresh metadata and,
Right.
maybe also take a look at the contract and see what, is that going to change again? And that can be part of a core concept of an NFT project is that you start with a box, you get a baby monkey that evolves into a bigger monkey that later
That's
gives
yeah,
you
and that's
more
only
points. And
if you've released like that though. You don't have to release like that.
you
I know
don't.
some
I'm
people
just
release
giving
like that to
examples.
control the amount of NFTs and where they go and how quickly they go so they don't get whales and all that stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, that you wouldn't necessarily you could freeze your metadata and over an entire project if you wanted to, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, can you, if you own an NFT, can you freeze the metadata
Y-
of your NFT as opposed to the rest of the collection? Or does it need to be written into the contract there from their end?
So from everything that I've read and that I understand, you can have a URI, which is a unique I have it put up on my thing, but there's a URI, which is just think about it as a link, right?
Okay.
You have that URI, and then to make it locked, you would essentially just add permanent in front of it, and that means that would essentially lock the code so that it can't be changed.
Okay.
Sorry, what was the question again? I was going on.
If you
I
are
know I
the
was
owner
going
of an
somewhere with that.
NFT, can you lock your own NFT's metadata
No,
as
no, no, no,
opposed
no. It
to
has to be no, no, no. Yeah, that's a great question. It has to be locked at the time of creation.
okay?
Um, now, if you have it unlocked, you can go lock it,
You
but you
can
can't then unlock it, right? You can still lock it at any time, but you can't unlock
as
it at any
as
time.
the owner or the creator,
Mm, So you can never lock anything as the owner, never.
and that was the question there is as the
Great,
owner
yeah.
of an individual NFT, could you go through and lock your own NFT so it stays stuck in that one stage, your middle stage of
No,
like
because then you'd have to repeat the you'd have to contract, and
okay,
that recontract could be a totally different contract, and like let's say that assets value is in that metadata in that
hmm
contract, then I could ruin the asset. You know what do you see what I mean by that?
I do, and that's just
Okay.
something I'm trying to elaborate in this whole conversation is
Yeah. Trying to
those
stay
contracts, and this is one of the very important parts of NFTs. If you're not familiar, is those contracts are written in stone from inception. So unless
yep,
it is written in the contract that there is an ability to change it. So a contract can consist of any kind of code that you want it
right.
to consist of, and it could consist of saying yes, later we're going to change this contract, and but the good thing is you'll be able to read that bit of code that is written in that contract right from the get-go. You can open up all of your data there and look at
Right.
it. And how do people look at that data? How do you look at the smart contract in detail? Is that through the Explorer, or what would you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So
It depends on I would go to the asset itself, right? So I would go
yep.
to the photo or whatever it is, we could use OpenSea as an example. I would go to the actual asset itself, then I would scroll down to the details section, pop that
Mm-hmm.
open. Once I have that open, it's either going to be the presence and or lack of information there that's going to tell you what type of asset that you have. For
Yep.
example, it's going to be frozen.
Okay.
There's a third one that I know I'm going to forget here too. There's going to have metadata, and then there's actually going to be nothing there for metadata. In fact, it's not even listed.
Sure.
And then there's centralized. So it's literally say centralized, and you'll usually get like a link to somebody's like Google Drive or something.
Okay.
And then
Which
I
is
feel like
never
there's
a good
another one.
sign.
Which, yeah, no, that's about time.
I
Yeah, if
pulled
it
up
says centralized down there, yeah, you don't want to do that.
right. So I went ahead and pulled up OpenSea just so we can kind of go through this real quick. She's talking about these details here, and we can actually click on contract address, and that will open up the Explorer here.
Yep.
And so we can come down and we can see anything that's happened with this contract. Um, Let's see. Where is it going to show internal transactions, contract itself? And here you can actually go through and read your code. And what was the thing we were looking for? Um, that
Whether it's
would,
frozen or not, you mean?
yes.
You would see that under, it would say permanent URI.
Okay.
It'll literally say that in the code. Now, what I would do is go over to
I'm just looking
sorry, I
at
don't, am
Ethereum
I seeing
contract
black?
right
I
now.
see black on your, oh, I see.
Are you looking at it from your phone?
Mm-mm.
Signature checker. Okay, so cyberfrogs.soul. Draft
It still
EIP.
says going live in 5 minutes. Are you watching the live feed?
Me? No. Hold on. And it should be fine, honestly. Um, YouTube.
It's probably like, okay.
It's probably just frozen on your phone. It does that a lot. And yeah, even just the thumbnail here on YouTube is showing that our faces, and it is showing exactly what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
On
I'm not seeing it live for whatever reason. So, but yeah, you would go down there and you would see that under the details. That would be the first place that I would look, at a
Yeah.
project is
Yeah. So you can
under
come
those
down here and
details.
find this.
And
Ownable. Wow, this is a long contract.
yeah, so you don't actually need to worry about all of it. There are some things like we could go over like on another days about
Absolutely.
knowing whether or not that somebody is giving themselves like open access to your wallet
Right.
um, in a contract, which they can do.
Read contract.
Um,
Oh, here we go. So I can
yeah,
go through collection size, mint price, pre-sale, balance of, can reveal. So can reveal false. They cannot reveal. Get approved. Name, owner, sales status. Support interface, token URI.
it's so weird. It says you're live right now, but I can't like actually go to the live. The live feed is
Interesting.
black, completely black.
And somebody else was saying that too. And when I go to it, twitch.tv/crypto nomad, it does show me myself if it loads.
Mm.
Oh. What does it? Interesting. Oh yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, it is showing if I go up to live. I wonder, did it just it only has so much. Um, weird. I wonder
I'm
why it
not
does
sure.
that. It's like it does show me live, and I can click on the live. Live now, watch now. Interesting. Wonder why it's doing that.
Well, I mean, we're calling it a podcast anyway, so I mean, I don't know if they can hear us. They just can't see it. Is that what's happening?
I don't know. It's working on YouTube, and this may be the issue between Twitch and YouTube. So if people are seeing the YouTube stream, then at least that works. But worst case is that it gets posted as a later stream. So
Yeah.
anyway, we'll figure that out later. And so I think that is enough for today. Kind of went over some good stuff. Let me switch back over so that everyone can see everyone. Boop. And there we are. So, yeah, that was a really good stream, and that's a ton of helpful information that people should really take a minute to go over. And go ahead and if you've got the chance, go do some reading about it. It really is very complicated, and even just to make your own NFTs, as simple as putting out some art, it is something you need to know about. So do your own research and get out there and have some fun.
Yep.
Anything you like to leave them with there, Lisa?
No, you said it all.
No, I mean, I think you did all the saying today. You really got in there and educated us on some really important.
I love, and it's fun because those are the things that I love to talk about. I'm trying to figure out like how to make this work because I love talking about digital asset storage and helping people understand where the value of their asset is and all that stuff. Like,
right.
all that stuff. So,
yeah, and we can implement some slides and screen sharing or whatever at any point in time, and make sure that everyone is really seeing kind of what we're talking about here. So we will try
Absolutely.
and get that going for everyone here. And if you liked today's stream, if you like the name of the stream, leave us a comment, message on Twitter, wherever. And check out everyone's TikToks. I've got one at Crypto Nomad. She's got their the For Women by Women Crypto. What is the actual name on that? The at
What
on
the
TikTok.
oh, that is it for women by women.
Okay, yeah, For Women by Women Crypto, and I've got those links down in the YouTube
And then
descriptions.
Lisa dot at the block.
There you go, Lisa
Oh,
dot at
from
the
the
block
block.
from the block. Oh
From the
my gosh, you're
block.
killing me with
I'm
sound
on the block
today
right now.
most of the time. So, all right,
Maybe
everybody.
only sound.
Hope you guys have a good day and stay safe out there. Don't mess up your crypto because that's all you got at this point. So, have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Boop. Do and.
So it's called the consensus podcast, but it doesn't describe what it is because it says about you and then it says talking crypto Legos. Oh, okay. I see. Because it doesn't really describe like I don't know if there needs like there's another like you can put a dash and then like crypto chat. Do you know what I mean? Fuck all. Fuck all. Well, a little cussy cussy.
Right.